What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so in this video I want to talk about a historic milestone that James Harden will most likely reach tomorrow night when they play against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Alright, James Harden had a relatively poor game last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder, his former team. Um, so, because he could have achieved the milestone last night, but he fell short. So, coming into tomorrow night's game, not tonight, but tomorrow night's game against the Timberwolves, he'll come into the game with, I think, 19,990 career points. So he needs 10 points to reach the 20,000 point barrier, which, when you look at it historically, it's pretty much a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame. All right, he's gonna, he's gonna finish with much more than that. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna finish with much more than that in his career. And, look, I know sometimes I come across as the ultimate James Harden hater. I just don't like media hyperbole, and I will always fight against that. But he is the premier scorer right now in the NBA, if he's not the most efficient. He's not the most efficient guy. But he has been improving in his efficiency as of late. You know what I'm saying? I will give him that. He's been more efficient as of late. You know what I'm saying? I notice he's not getting as many bogus foul calls as he was earlier this year. He's taking somewhat better shots. He's been hot a little bit recently overall from the field. You know what I'm saying? So his percentages are up. Like, I think when I last looked at it, he's about 45% from the field this season, which is about his average for his career. He's about 38% from three-point range, which is good, especially considering how terrible he was coming into the season. And he's 86% from the foul line. So he's playing very well. I wouldn't consider him my MVP right now, though. All those great individual numbers aside, right now, if I had to pick a league MVP, I would still go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Luka Doncic maybe at second. And then maybe you would have James Harden in the conversation at third place, if it was me. Going in more about the 20,000 point thing, the only player I can think of off the top of my head, the only two players I can think of off the top of my head who have scored 20,000 career points but are not in the Hall of Fame are Tom Chambers and Antoine Jameson, who I don't think is eligible yet for Hall of Fame status. But I don't think Antoine Jameson's getting in, but you never know. You never know. I'm not too certain as to whether Antoine Jameson. Well, you know what? You know what? Maybe he is, because you got to remember it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So when you take Jameson's collegiate career into account, his years in North Carolina, I remember them having some success. He was there, I think, with Vince Carter. Maybe he does get in. Maybe he does get in with his collegiate success. I think Tom Chambers should be in the Hall too. So I've said that for quite a while. I think Tom Chambers should be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, this is a tremendous milestone. Um, James Harden for his career now averages about 25 points per game, which is right there with guys like, when it comes to per game averages, right there with Karl Malone, and Kobe Bryant. Although I don't think that James Harden is as great a scorer as Kobe Bryant was. And I do agree with something Max Kellerman said the other day. I do get the impression that Kobe Bryant, since his retirement, has become considerably underrated. I think some fans look at the field goal percentage, especially I think LeBron fans, they look at Kobe's career field goal percentage, and by that, and I used to make this mistake myself. Uh, I used to use that against Kobe Bryant, but when you look at the type of shots that Kobe took a lot of mid-range shots, and historically, the mid-range shot is not the most efficient shot, but it can be a very effective shot in certain situations. Um, and Kobe took some tough shots and made some tough shots. Whereas LeBron is very selective with what type of shots he want to take. And while it looks good on paper, his field goal percentage, when you look at his percentage from the 2-point range or mid range, it's terrible. So, but that's a whole nother video. But in conclusion, I want to say this too. We might see something really historic this season. And barring injury, Russell Westbrook is not too far off of 20,000 points himself. I think he's like 370 or 360 points behind uh, the 20,000 barrier. So, barring injury, later on this season, Russell Westbrook should surpass 20,000 points himself. I don't know how many games it might be. Off the top of my head, let me see. Barring injury, Russ might get there sometime around another 15 or 16 games. So maybe sometime in February, I'm thinking Russell Westbrook might reach that barrier. And I think that'll be the first time that you'll have two teammates eclipse 20,000 points on the same team in the same year. I think. I have to think about that. That might not be true. You know what I'm saying? That might not be true. I'm thinking, but I think that's the case. I think it'll be the first time you have two teammates surpass 20,000 career points on the same team in the same year. So that'll be a remarkable accomplishment. But tell me what you guys think.